This talk is about being selfish to be selfless. And it's something I've listened to a lot in the last couple of months. And hello, my sister. Being selfish to be selfless is really, really important, because we get so worked up on catering for other people's needs, not letting other people down. We have our friends, we have our family, especially with friends, there's so much pressure to see people, to do things, and we're meeting up so all bar one Friday night, fancy joining in. Oh, come along, we're desperate to see you, blah, blah, blah. And, friends are always guilty of that, and it's always nice intentions, of course. But sometimes you just don't want to see your friends. You just need time to yourself. But half the time your friends actually don't realise that. Your friends always think you should be on the ball, and always think, you should meet up at every single opportunity. And if we constantly do this, if we constantly give in to, other people's needs, we're neglecting our own well-being, because we don't want to be doing that. We feel forced to do it. And it might not seem significant the first time, but if you keep doing this, you're slowly chipping away at neglecting your own well-being. You're not prioritising your own health, because that's going to make you probably more tired. It's going to affect your emotional health. It's always going to affect your mental health as well, because you might be feeling trapped in actually not having full control in what you want to do. And, good friends will always kind of understand this. And there is a balance, obviously. You can't always be selfish, because if you're always selfish, then you're only thinking of yourself all the time. And, you're only going to push people away in your life. And that's not what friends do. That's not what, family members do, especially if you're close to your family. But if you're too selfless, then you're always neglecting your own well-being for the sake of others. You're always putting others first. And whilst it's nice to put others first, whilst it's good to put others first, we can only serve others better after serving ourselves. And if we serve ourselves well, if we focus on ourselves whether that's through reading, through exercise, through meditation, doing stuff which makes you healthier, makes you feel happier, and makes you feel stronger in your body and your mind, then you can serve others better. And this is a really kind of important concept to understand, because, people get so worked up that, I might let so-and-so down. If I don't go meet up with them, I might let so-and-so down. No, you bloody won't. You won't be letting them down. Yes, if it's 4 times in a row, it's like, come on now, make some effort. But if it's the once or the twice, just do you. Stop getting so worked up on, what other people think. And so many people as well, takers out there, and it's always take. And if you're always making the effort and you're not getting anything back, then, I know some people are useless like that, and people say, oh, but that's just how they are. That's bollocks. Absolute bollocks. That's such an excuse. If they really want to make an effort, they can make an effort. If you're always making the effort, then actually don't. Life's a two-way thing with everything. With your relationships, always a two-way thing. So to stop getting so worked up on always thinking of other people, not yourself. And no one's perfect. I'm still far from perfect. Sometimes I've been way too selfless. Sometimes I've been way too selfish. But it's just finding that balance. And when you find that balance of looking after yourself, you can then best serve others. So, for example, on a Friday, say you have a really tiring week at work, you could just leave that to chilling at home with your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, by yourself, whatever you're doing, with your housemates, doing bugger all, but looking after yourself. Whether that's cooking, reading, watching a bit of TV, whatever you like doing. And then you can leave your Saturday evening to seeing your mates, if something's going on. Instead of, people organising things for Friday, people organising things Saturday, and you feel so worked up, be like, oh, I've got to go to both, it's going to be a laugh, blah, blah. Yes, okay, might be, but if you don't want to do that on a Friday, but you feel like you have to, and you keep doing that over and over and over and over, then you're just being more detrimental to your own mental and emotional wealth. And you don't realise it, but it's going to catch up on you. And this is where it's really important to set boundaries, because if you're always being so selfless with other people, they always expect things from you every single time. And if you're not setting those boundaries, then you're succumbing to their needs the whole time. And if you're always succumbing to their needs, you're not looking after your own. So when you be more selfish, and people know that, you set the boundaries. And then people can know when they can and can't contact you. So say in the middle of the day, you know, if someone's contacting you and that's your time, either for working or say on a Saturday morning, if that's your time with your housemates or your boyfriend, your partner, whatever, girlfriend, then if you confirm that with people, they won't message you then. And if they do, you don't have to answer it because that's your time. You don't have to feel all. Sorry about that. So yeah, I think that's really important to get that balance right. Being more selfish, to be selfless. And this will really, sorry Dad, my dad keeps calling. This will be really positive on your overall well-being. And I hope you guys and girls who are watching can really take something from that, because, you know, it is time to start thinking of you more. And if your friends turn around to you and start, you know, getting angry at you because you're spending your Friday nights for you time, then I'm sorry, but they're not really good friends. Because if they're always expecting of you, then they're always thinking of them. So they're being incredibly selfish from not looking at your perspective. You know, there's only so much you can demand of people. And when people actually understand that, that's when the friendship's healthy. And it's not only friends, you know, people in business and stuff, whatever, even family, you know, if you set those boundaries, be firm, be strong, don't feel guilty, because in the long run, you will only repel the people who shouldn't be in your life, and you will naturally draw in the people who respect your limits, who respect your boundaries, and the people who should be in your life. So I think that's really important. And when you're being more selfish, having those three things that really help your mental health, whether that's meditation, reading, cooking, you know, whatever relaxes you. Just a quick note on that as well. TV generally isn't the best thing in terms of, you know, keeping your mind engaged, if you are ruminating a little bit, if you need time to kind of switch off, TV's not the best. Because think of all the times you go on Netflix and you spend about 20 or so minutes looking at a channel, looking for something to watch, and it turns out you don't really want to watch it. You end up by looking on your phones instead and not being productive. So TV is a tricky one, unless you're into a really intense thing where you have to, you know, be so focused on it, and then TV's good. But if it's just generic TV watching, I would avoid that. But that is my message. Be more selfish to be selfless. Look after yourself first so you can serve others better, and not putting others' needs always in front of yours, because you're going to compromise your own well-being, your own happiness, and it's just really not worth it. Because as we know, you know, whilst having our friends is amazing and great, you know, some people can be absolutely bloody useless. And you're only going to feel more agitated, more pissed off about that, because you're always serving others. And if others are being useless, you think, why do I bother? What's the point? So hopefully that really helps. Thank you for you guys for tuning in, and for other people watching it back. You know, I think that's a really important message. Be more selfish to be more selfless. And if your friends don't get that, then well, it's time to start thinking about, you know, if they really are good friends of yours. So thank you for watching, ladies and gents, when you watch back. And until Friday, I'll be going live again Friday morning. And if you find these talks useful, helpful, you know, I will always be doing them 3 times a week on Facebook, so you can always catch up. And it's stuff that I read, I research, you know, I listen to, and stuff that really helps my mental health, really helps kind of my life and how I view things, and things that I feel might be helpful for everyone else, because they're things that are very relatable and things that we can all easily use and put into action. So thank you very much, and until Friday, see you then.